I hate to break it to you, champ, but tugging on your clothes just to feel an inch of comfort or hiding behind baggy clothing isn't going anywhere without putting the work in. If you are a man or woman who is sick and tired of spending day in, day out, tugging on the clothes just to feel a little tad bit of comfort, or always searching the wardrobe for the nearest baggy hoodie, nearest baggy t-shirt, and you are ready to finally put an end to that once and for all, then champ, you are in the right place. Just simply give me a few minutes of your time and I'm going to show you exactly how you can put an end to this once and for all. So you can finally go through day-to-day life feeling happy, comfortable and confident in your own skin. But also finally feel comfortable enough and confident enough to wear the style of clothes that you want to wear, not the clothes that you feel like you have to wear just to hide your body day in, day out. So how am I so confident that I can actually help you achieve this? Well, if you're new around here, my name is Mark Foy, and between the year of 2021 and the very start of 2024, I found myself back in the worst mental and physical place I had been for years due to my weight and how I felt within my own skin. After struggling with my weight my entire life, at the end of 2023, I found myself in the darkest place I had been for absolute years. After gaining over 4 stone of body weight between the year of 2021 and the end of 2023, I was the unhappiest I've ever felt. I literally started to hate myself. And in all honesty, I no longer recognised the person that I was anymore and who I'd become. After years of self-neglect, after years of saying I'm going to start tomorrow or I'm going to start on Monday, and after years of putting every other area of my life above myself and above my own priority, I actually found myself on holiday for my own dad's 60th birthday at the worst point I'd been in my entire life due to how I felt within my own skin. I spent that entire holiday hiding in every single photo, being the one person who offered to take the photo and being too scared to even be in it due to what people thought or how I actually looked within that photo. I also refused to actually be present in the moment with my own family, with my own loved ones, due to how little confidence that I had in myself at that period of time. This was supposed to be a holiday of a lifetime for me, but in all honesty, it just turned into an absolute living nightmare. Seeing my entire family and friends smiling, laughing, living in the moment, when all I could genuinely think about was how I looked and how I felt within my own skin. In all honesty, that was the turning point for me when I realised that things really had to change. I genuinely found myself at the lowest point I'd ever been. Even after years of struggling with my weight, this was literally rock bottom. I actually wasn't too sure and didn't really have the belief that I was actually going to get myself out of that place. Now I'm on a mission to unbecome the version of myself that I was never ever supposed to be. The version of myself who found himself at the darkest point in his life at the end of 2023, hating exactly how he felt in his own skin, hating how he felt in his own clothes. And I wanted to do this without cutting out my social life, without cutting out time with my own friends, my own family, and sacrificing time with loved ones. I also didn't want to be doing this while eating every single meal of the day out of a Tupperware and a meal prep container either. But most importantly, I wanted to be doing this alongside my own clients who are on their own journeys to unbecome the version of themselves they were never ever supposed to be, and the version of themselves that they never ever wanted to be in the first place. So they can finally put an end to tugging and pulling on their clothes just to feel comfortable and hiding behind baggy t-shirts and baggy hoodies once and for all. Just like my client Rachel, who's lost 10 stone of body fat without sacrificing time with the loved ones and without sacrificing her social life too. Rachel went from not even being able to walk her own daughter 4 doors down to the nearest school gates to now being able to wake up and go on sunrise hikes with her daughters. Or just like my client Gemma, who's lost 6 stone of body fat since she started with us and finally regained back her life. After spending years upon years struggling to actually be able to keep up with her kids, to now achieving the results and the fitness levels to be able to play with them and keep up with them without being breathless. Or just like my client Dylan, who's dropped 26 kilo of body fat, completed his first ever photo shoot, completed his first ever half marathon after spending years upon years tugging on his clothes just to feel comfortable, hiding behind baggy t-shirts, or even grabbing the nearest object at every single opportunity just to hide his stomach. He has finally regained that self-belief and that confidence within himself that he no longer has to go through day-to-day life hiding behind baggy hoodies or tugging on his tops and constantly pulling on them just to feel an inch of comfort. Let me give you a little bit more context here. My entire life I have struggled with my body weight. I was never ever that person who had the body of a Greek god or has always been in shape. In fact, I've been in your shoes multiple times. I've struggled with dropping body fat before. I've struggled with the mindset barriers that fat loss brings, and I've struggled with the overall difficulties of actually trying to drop body fat in the past. From such a young age, I was bullied because of my weight and how I looked. I was always the fat kid. I was always the big one. I was always the one that'd be breathless. Always the one that got picked last for any form of sport, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was pretty difficult. So my weight was something that I always struggled with, right away from a kid, right away from my teenage years and even up to the previous years. But when I turned 13, that was the time that I really wanted to put an end to being the fat kid and the big one, once and for all. This is actually where I discovered my actual love and passion for health and fitness and fat loss in the first place. Back in 2015, I started my local boxing club with all intention and the goal being just to lose a little bit of weight. But in all honesty, I actually started it at that point in my life because I was fed up. I didn't want to be the big one anymore. This was the one point in my life where one road led into another. This was actually where I discovered the love for health and fitness, but within that period of time, I dropped 4 stone of body fat and experienced fat loss for the first time. But this is where I actually got to experience the other side of the coin, the other side of life that fat loss brings, the happiness and confidence within your own skin that actually achieving the fat loss results that you've always wanted can actually bring. Back when I turned 16, that is when I studied to be a personal trainer with the sole goal and the vision to help people experience the feelings that I got to feel of dropping body fat. The other side of life that fat loss actually brought me, I wanted to help people experience that. However, fast forward to the end of 2023, I completely forgot what that feeling of feeling comfortable in your own skin actually felt like. It is difficult to say this, but I had actually grown to hate myself. I struggled with my confidence, I struggled with my happiness, I struggled with my self-esteem. And in all honesty, this was impacting every single area of my life, from my business, from my relationships, from time spent with family, social occasions, you name it. It was impacting absolutely everything. Over the span of 2 to 3 years, I'd completely lost myself. I discovered drinking every single weekend, ordering fast food like it was going out of fashion, just to completely hide how I was actually feeling and give me a little bit of comfort from everyday life that I was struggling to feel within myself. And before you know it, I found myself weighing 18 stone at the worst mental and physical place that I'd ever been in my entire life. Fast forward to 2025, I am now 1.5 years into unbecoming the version of myself that was in that dark place at the end of 2023. Doing this has allowed me to experience all of those feelings that fat loss brings again. It's allowed me to regain my confidence, regain my happiness, not only in my own skin, but also in day-to-day life as well. From achieving a 5 stone weight loss, 2 photo shoots, and 4 Hyrox events within that period of time, I have learned to fall in love with the journey of unbecoming the version of yourself that you were never ever supposed to be. And that journey will continue. So, in order to achieve your own life-changing fat loss results without cutting out your social life, without sacrificing time with loved ones, and without eating every single meal out of Tupperware, you need these 3 things. The first thing you need is the Unbecoming Keystone, a system that helps you create routine and structure across all areas of your life so you can actually achieve the fat loss results that you've always wanted while being able to give attention to every single area of your life that needs it. From your family, your kids, your relationships, your career, to your business, you name it. The second thing that you need is the motivation builder. You need to understand what your purpose is and what your why is behind actually wanting to achieve the fat loss results that are going to literally change your life. Not just for yourself, but also for your family and every single person around you. Once you understand what your purpose is, once you understand what your why is behind the journey, motivation will be with you right the way throughout that entire process. And number 3, the Unbecoming Roadmap. I want you to envision this as your GPS of exactly how you are going to get to exactly where you want to be, the steps that you need to take and what is required to actually get there. When you actually don't know how you're going to achieve your goal, how long it's going to take or what's actually required to get there, it can feel pretty daunting and quite demotivating as well. This is where the Unbecoming Roadmap comes into it to make it clear from the very, very beginning. And inside the Unbecoming Project, we help people just like you implement these 3 elements of the Unbecoming flywheel straight into your life. The first element that we will help implement into your life is the Unbecoming Blueprint, a structured and tailored program covering all areas from your nutrition, your training, your daily habits, your mindset, and also the habits that are going to actually be required to achieve your end weight loss goal. This is designed around your goals, but most importantly, your life, your work life, your family life, your social life, so you can dedicate time to all areas while achieving the fat loss results that you've potentially been spending months, even years, trying to achieve. The second element is the seen and heard support system. What we do inside the Unbecoming Project isn't just speak to you on Monday and catch you next week. We actually have an around-the-clock 7-day support system with multiple ways to access myself on a daily basis, because for myself as a coach, I believe that having accountability, having someone in your corner so you can ask questions and get the answers as and when you need them is really, really important to success on your fat loss journey. And element number 3, the pattern breaker education model. An education system that is designed to break the patterns of consistent years of losing weight and gaining it all back again. The pattern breaker education model is here to change that once and for all. I understand how frustrating it is to spend year upon year upon year losing weight and gaining it all back again. And this is exactly why we have designed this, so we can put an end to this once and for all. You may be wondering, Mark, how do I get all this? How can I implement this for my own journey? You can join the Unbecoming Project today, and the journey to the mind, body and lifestyle that you've always wanted will finally begin. By the way, did you feel that then? Things may have just shifted for you. You may have felt a little bit of a certain way when I said that. Shit is truly getting real, and you may potentially be feeling a little bit uncomfortable. That, champ, is the fear of change tapping you on your shoulder and whispering in your ear that you're okay, you just don't need it. But let me ask you this, what's the cost of not changing and staying exactly where you are right now? What is the cost of coming off this video and not actually taking the next step? Because as the saying goes, if nothing changes, champ, nothing changes. Taking the first step couldn't be easier. Just simply drop me a DM on Instagram with the word unbecoming, and let's have a chat to see if I can finally help you achieve the fat loss results that you've always wanted. Let's go, champ.